Dave and Chad here with you, broadcasting from our Cox Business Studio, lovely downtown Container Park, being joined in studio by the president of Veterans Village, Dr. Arnold Stalk. Dr. Stalk, first of all, good morning. Great to have you in here. We've been talking a lot about you this morning on the program. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
It's absolutely our pleasure. As we mentioned earlier in the show, Chad, Dr. Stalk has been recently interviewed by Vegas 7. The article has been reposted on our website, daveandchad.com, talking about Veterans Village push to create a new kind of sustainable housing for homeless veterans here in the Las Vegas Valley, and really what a novel concept, repurposing shipping containers, which can be beat to hell, don't really show the effects, and make for great little domiciles. How did you come up with this idea, Dr. Stalk?
Well, again, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. I was on a cruise with my family in the late 80s. I pulled into Mazatlan, saw about 10,000 containers rusted sitting in the port. Went and talked to the guy in my broken Spanish and started experimenting with container technology because it's an excellent grid, dimension, height, width to ship emergency housing or to ship permanent housing, and to do it fast, quick, easy, and cheap.
Yeah, and your proposal, you're looking at around a $10,000 price point, obviously with help from Home Depot and stuff, but talk a little bit about what this would look like.
We have it at our site. Anybody who's like to see it is more than welcome to see it at Veterans Village. We built the prototype as an 8 by 20 by 8 foot high, and looks just like any other house inside. It looks like this studio looks inside. If you've been to Container Park, just imagine it as at a house.
Yeah.
And so we built our prototype in Haiti. We have 8 units there, and I'm a real believer at keep coming back. So it looks like a house.
Yeah, well, containers are one thing that, Chad and I are obviously, quite hip on here, being at the Container Park. But one of the newest trends in, as you mentioned, mobile emergency and permanent housing. And I think it's quite apropos that when we talk about homeless veterans who are some of the most plighted folks of this society, we give them some of the best opportunities we have with future technology. Now, Dr. Stalk, let's talk a little bit about homeless veterans in Las Vegas, because KDON is one of the proud stations that really fights for veterans' rights here. And on the weekends, RJ and Jim Littner have the Veterans Talk Forgotten Promise. How many homeless veterans do you suspect are actually living in the Las Vegas Valley?
Well, as we discussed, the numbers game is not a great thing for us to really stay on, but we know that it's in the thousands. We see it every day. We see it in our lobby. It's 10 times more scientific than going out and just seeing who's on the street. We know it's in the thousands, somewhere upward between 5,000 and 7,000 people.
God, that is such a
that
shame.
are United States veterans that have given their lives for our country, that have worked in the military, that are fully equipped to be helped, and it's a national disgrace. The good news is that there's a lot of desire to work on it, and so that's where my mind focuses every day when I get up. I have 125 people to feed. We have hundreds of people that come through our lobby each week, and there's no reason why we can't solve this problem.
Yeah, absolutely. We talk about the numbers game in the article. The government estimates are around 800. Why there's such a discrepancy between what the government estimates are and what we actually see? Is it how they account for them? Are they obviously missing a lot of people here? What's going on?
I'm not really sure exactly how they arrive at that number. But the VA generates it, the county generates it, and they're going probably by people that are registered or have some way gotten into the system.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many veterans walk through our door, and I also can't share with you how much a desire there is in this community to help our vets, but they have absolutely nothing. They've fallen by the waysides. They can't get their they can't even get an appointment at a medical clinic. They can't get their ID. They can't get their DD-214. It's gotten better, but we have a long way to go. And I'm a relentless advocate on behalf of veterans and on behalf of people that are homeless.
Well, if you'd like to support Veterans Village, and I know a lot of people driving around Las Vegas have seen the Veterans Village thrift and art store down there on the corner of Jones and Charleston. And you mentioned to us off air, Dr. Stalk, that's actually going to be moving. You guys are having a new building for this particular facility.
That's correct.
How can folks that are possibly listening to us here today on KDON or online at kdwn.com get involved with Veterans Village? Say they can donate 10 minutes a week, an hour a week, a week, a month, or 12 months a year. How can they get involved with your cause?
Those are our favorite because we run on volunteerism. We are a private sector driven We have no federal grants, at least to date, no grants from the city, state, federal government. They can contact us at www.vvlv.org. That's V for veterans, vvlv.org. Or call me directly anytime at 702-624-5792. And we take calls now we're getting calls from all over the country.
Well, I mean, I think it's a cause that needs to be championed. And Chad, you and I have had a chance to talk to a number of different folks trying to help veterans with mobility, with finances, and now Dr. Stalk with housing. When we look at the Veterans Administration, and I know that they are an overburdened organization, Dr. Stalk, but when we look at the Veterans Administration and how they have responded to some recent criticism, whether rightly or wrongly, do you feel that there's going to be a turnaround in some of the policies and the ways in which they treat those that have served us? Or do you see that we need to, as a public, continue to put pressure on Washington, on our leaders here in the state, to make sure that the VA does what they're supposed to and properly handles and cares for our veterans?
Well, what's interesting, it's a very good question. What's interesting about, at least to me, about our model is that the VA is the VA. They're doing the best job they can possibly do. I don't think they wake up in the morning and say, how can we abuse our veterans? And I know they don't, because I know people in the VA. I've worked with the VA for 40 years. What we did was went to the private sector and let's just take one area, healthcare. We have a partnership with Touro University. Their mobile medical van is at our site at least once a week. We also have a number of physicians that are out there in the community that will see any veteran that we call and will not charge them.
That's fantastic.
That's how we deal with it. If it's dental, we send them over to UNLV School of Dentistry. We're able to do that because we don't have the ties. We don't have to fill out 40 pages of paperwork when somebody comes in just to get them qualified and have them sit there humiliated in a stuffy lobby.
Yeah.
They come into our lobby, we get them some coffee, we get them food, we welcome them, we love on them, and then we find out what the problem is and we refer it out. So that's the way we handle every aspect of what we do, whether it's housing, food, clothing, a job. And I can say this with complete assurance. If there's a veteran in our lobby this morning and they don't have a convicted felony, we can get them a job probably within a day.
Wow, really?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, so veterans listening to us here today on News Talk 720 KDWN, I want you to, again, jot this down. Perhaps you're just tuning in with us. You're getting ready for bucket strategy investing. It's Dave and Chad talking with Dr. Arnold Stalk, founder of Veterans Village. Visit the website VVLV. That's VVLV.org, or call Dr. Stalk directly, 702-624-5792. I mean, I'm going to tell you what, that is a direct call to action, doctor, because right now, and we talked about this a little bit off air, 93 million Americans, according to the Labor Department, do not work right now or are underemployed between 16 and 65. A large number of those people are veterans that have served this country. And if you can get them a job, I mean, we are going to do everything we can to push them towards you. I mean, this is really, really great.
At least 40% of our population are veterans.